Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here this afternoon, as we are now, a couple of minutes after midday. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Vince Maple. I'm proud to be one of the 3 local councillors here for Chatham Central. We're just going to spend a few moments here. There's a couple of thank yous to give, but before we do that, I think it's entirely appropriate if we just spend just a few moments silence to reflect on the 24 who lost their lives both in October and December, as remembered above us this morning. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. History is happening every moment that we live, and we have a tremendous amount of history here in Medway. Many of you live here, so you'll be living that memory and living that history, but we have guests here from far and wide today, and that shows, for me, the impact of a single couple of moments, history, that we are remembering today, and we remember permanently with the plaque that we have got here in Ordnance Street. Really, for many people, the history of war is placed in a dusty corner in a museum, and that's fine and that's okay, but for me and for Mr. Foy, who has been an inspiration, I'll speak more about him before the end. It's not about being in a museum or in a textbook, it's about being in our community. So for generations to come, people who have the privilege of living here in Ordnance Street will know some of the reasons why this street is how it is, how you have, as someone was saying earlier on, Victorian houses either side and something which isn't quite a Victorian house here in the middle. And this tells the important story of how we ended up here. Really, for me, this project has been inspirational. We've seen a lot over the last few weeks and months about, obviously, the loss of war, and sometimes when you talk about war, and world wars in particular, you talk about numbers which you can't fathom, millions and millions of people. But something like the memorial we have here in Ordnance Street really focuses on the fact that actually of those millions and millions of people, their families, their individuals, and in lots of cases they're families who know other families. And I know, hearing some of the conversations this morning, there are people who haven't seen each other for decades meeting up again together and talking, which is fantastic. As I say, this sort of project doesn't happen by itself, so I'd like to give 2 or 3 thank yous. Firstly, to Medway Council, who have helped with the funding towards this. They have been a big support, so thank you very much to them. I'd like to thank Councillor Pat Golving, who is representative for Mr. Foy's ward. She was one who brokered the initial conversation. I'd like to thank Ashley and all the team at MHS for both their hospitality later on this afternoon, and also for lending us 45 bricks to put our memorial on. I'd also like to thank, he's here somewhere, Peter Cook from the Medway Messenger. Peter is an outstanding journalist and actually an outstanding historian as well. And as of, I think, 2 days ago, he's my friend on Facebook. So bringing that modern life together, as well as those great pieces of history that he brings to us every Friday here in Medway. But undoubtedly, the biggest thank you for this project has to be Stephen Foy, without whom simply none of us would be here this morning. He was the inspiration who said, actually, we need to make sure that our local history is remembered for future generations. And there are young people here today who will be able to carry on that message, knowing the history of what took place here 74 years ago, 74 years ago, sorry, today. I made that this morning, a mistake this morning as well. So Sunday morning is never great for me. So, Mr. Foy, really, really, truly thank you for all of those that will look at this memorial, that will realise our history that we have here in Medway, that we have with the families, many of whom still live very nearby. And I'm sure the audience here would like to show their appreciation to you through the normal way. So thank you very much. And I will leave the last word to Mr. Foy. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
There's an old saying, no man is an island. And I think you've proved that today by all turning up for me. It's superb. I'm gobsmacked, absolutely. I was going to thank Pat Golding, who's setting me off on the road, and Vince Maple, who's been with me all the way, and there's Robin Cooper, who's the director of Enterprise. He should be the man who's finally got it up there, so all I can say is thank you very much, and thank you all for coming, for making my day. Enjoy your day.
For those of you without local knowledge, I say Ashley's organisation, MHS, has kindly sponsored some light refreshments over at the Rotham Club, which is about a 5-7 minute walk just kind of up and left. I'm sure we'll be going on transit, but again, do make sure that you, I say, take in the great local history here, and thank you once again for being here, and enjoy the conversations which I know are going to happen over tea and biscuits over the next couple of hours. Thank you very much for being here today.